What is happening, my friends? Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show, your go to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day. Whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz, we're diving deep and keeping it real. So kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. My friends, on today's conversation, we're going to talk about the recent lawsuit brought against former Florida State basketball coach Leonard Hamilton. He's being sued for for unfulfilled NIL promises. So we'll talk a little more with that in the program. Also, I'll continue what I left off on the last show of the feud between conservative talker and political activist. I wouldn't even call her activist. She mainly, I mean, I guess you can say conservative political activist. Laura Loomer, who made headlines during the recent presidential race. She's in the public criticizing Elon Musk, Trump's right hand man now. His golden ticket of what a lot of folks have said have helped win Trump the election. I'll continue on what I left off on the last show, and also back with Dwight Howard. I don't know why Dwight Howard is he's in the public a lot now with going viral with some viral moments. His the last time I was speaking about Dwight Howard, former NBA star Dwight Howard, he was in the I was sharing that he was given relationship advice, which I thought was pretty hilarious because I mean it depends how you take it. Now the Dwight Howard that I know is the guy that fathered five children from five different women. Dwight Howard is the one I know that just settled, beat a huge case that was brought against. Really wasn't facing any jail time, but just his, I don't know. It showed that the man likes to get a little nasty. I'll just leave it at that. Okay. And so this time he's speaking more on child support. Now we brought up this conversation a while back when comedian TK Kirkland shared that he don't pay child support, and I'll talk a little more in the show about that. Also, guys, top NYPD officer resigns. Guess what? What's the reasons behind that? Stay with us and I'll share. And lastly, if we have time, 47th president, Donald Trump, of course he's doing what he normally does, playing the blame game, him and the rest of the Republicans. So yes, we'll talk more about that. I'll share what he's pointing the fingers and why he's blaming quote unquote the border issue on this thing. So I'll talk a little more in the program, but before I move forward, again, for those who are just now tuning in, you are tuning into the Arrington Gavin Show. I'm so hyped that you've taken the time out of your busy schedule to listen in to yet another great episode. You can be doing so much other things with your precious time, but the fact that you take the time out of your schedule for just 1 hour to listen into the program, I truly appreciate that. I wouldn't be able to continue on this show without you all, the listeners and the viewers out there. Multiple ways you can tune into the program. First, for all you podcast listeners out there, look, you can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show, available on all podcast platforms: iHeart, Spotify, Apple, what else? Wherever you get your podcast, you can tune in. You can listen into the Arrington Gavin Show. All you have to do is just type in the Arrington Gavin Show, and you'll find us right there. Please follow us. Leave us give us 5 stars. Share with a friend. Share with family. Please, I truly appreciate it. Also, you can watch us on the streaming platforms of YouTube and Rumble, okay, at the Arrington Gavin Show. Once again, those 2 platforms are YouTube and at Rumble on the by typing in the Arrington Gavin Show. All right. Let's see, what else do we got in store for you all? Oh, lastly, you can also listen to us on the radio waves with our partners over at WDJY 99.1 FM. Yes, our radio affiliate out there in the metro Atlanta area. We are hyped to be on that station. It's a growing station, and we're just excited to be a part of that, of the WDJY family. You can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show Monday through Fridays at 11 p.m. On that platform, as well as online on WDJYFM.com. So there's multiple ways you can tune in to the show. Also, before we move forward, I always have to thank some of our proud supporters of the Arrington Gavin Show, like our friends over at Rugged Evolution Beard Care. That's right. You see me, for those who are watching, I rock a beard. I have rocked a beard since my freshman year in college. For you men out there looking for an amazing product, whether whether if you're rocking a mustache, goatee, a beard, you name it. Look, Rugged Evolution Beard Care is an amazing product for you. Look, our facial hair is the magnet to bacteria and grease. So without proper maintenance, look, we struggle with itchy irritation on the skin, flakiness, I mean, hard to comb out, dry, brittle. We don't want that, right? We do not want that. Again, our facial hair is the magnet to bacteria and grease. So without you taking care of it, maintaining it, what's the point, right? What's the point of even having facial hair? Well, Rugged Evolution Beard Care is an all-natural men's grooming line that offers 17 scented beard balms, beard oils, conditioning shampoos, you name it, they have it. Beard wash, I've already mentioned. Exfoliating soap, stuff that's great for the skin. I mean, they're treating you from head to toe, literally. And they have amazing accessories as well. So for more information about Rugged Evolution Beard Care, please go ahead and visit them at their website on www.ruggedevo.com. Again, their website is www.ruggedevo.com. I want to thank them for being a proud supporter of the Arrington Gavin Show. And second, before we head to a commercial break, I want to also shout out Bernardo's Menswear. That's right. Our good friend, Mr. Bernardo Johnson, is the founder and owner of Bernardo's Menswear. They're an amazing clothing line, a clothing store that offers custom, business casual, formal, you name it. They have everything you need to help enhance and upkeep your I guess your style, the way you dress. Look, as a business owner, and as a media personality, I am at a lot of functions publicly, and my appearance is everything, right? Not only just my skin, my beard, my grooming appearance, but my style, my clothes. You always have to make sure that your brand is up to par, and with some great threads, look, that's going to help you. I mean, it even brings on some confidence. And my friend, Mr. Bernardo Johnson, is the person that you want to get in contact with for that. All right, my friends. You can go to his website, visit his store online at www.bernardomenswear.com. Again, that's www.bernardomenswear.com. Or you can check out his store location over in Norfolk, Virginia. If you happen to be in the Hampton Roads, Virginia area, go ahead and stop by downtown Norfolk at the MacArthur Mall, first floor, Bernardo's Menswear, and you can visit him in person and tell him that Arrington sent you. So we want to thank him for being a proud supporter of the Arrington Gavin Show, and thank all of our supporters, small businesses that have partnered with us. And look, my friends, if you happen to want to work here on the work with us and partner with us on the program, if you are a small business out there that's trying to continue to get your message across, look, hit me up. You can text us at 757-955-0656. Again, that number is 757-955-0656, or you can DM me at the Arrington Gavin Show on Instagram. Yeah, we'll talk from there. Let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break, my friends. Again, you are listening to the Arrington Gavin Show. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
rugged is the new smooth.
What is happening, my friends? What is happening? Welcome back to the Arrington Gavin show. I am your guy, your homie Arrington Gavin. Let me go ahead and start it off with our tradition here on the program that we always love to do. Is called our fun fact of the day. And on today's fun fact, did you all know that the longest English word without a vowel is rhythm? Rhythm is that word. That is the longest English word without a vowel. But here's the thing. I don't know about that because you remember A-E-I-O-U and sometimes Y? Y is in rhythm, right? All right. So I don't know. I don't know about that. But I guess at this, even though they say sometimes Y, they really mean no, Y don't count. Y don't count. So yeah, that was our quick fun fact of the day. Be sure to spread the word about that fun fact. That's a good conversation starter. Maybe if you happen to have any friends or family that are English teachers, ask them, or English professors, ask them what do you think about that fun fact. One more time, the longest English word without a vowel is the word rhythm. Rhythm. I got some, friends that rhythm is awful, by the way. I'm not going to say any names, but I'm pretty sure they are they tune into the show, so they know who I'm talking about. Love you guys. But yes, I mean, I'm sorry. Sidebar, you ever seen Jennifer Hudson has this very successful daytime talk show now called the Jennifer Hudson Show. And at first when I heard about it, I'm like, oh, this will be interesting because I'm a huge Jennifer Hudson fan. Her music, beautiful, beautiful voice, one of the greatest voices out there, great actress as well. But I'm like, okay, now they're doing too much. Like, is this really gonna succeed? Everybody's starting to have a daytime talk show. So how is this gonna go? They started to go viral when they had these like Soul Train line tunnels where whichever special guest is coming on the show, they, her staff and team, they'll come with create a new jingle for them, and on their way to the uh 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 to the set, right? To the to the set of the show. They got to walk through and have a good time and all this. It's really dope. And it was, I think the actor name was Ted Danson. Look him up, Ted Danson. Not trying to call you out, Ted. We still love you. He was, star of Cheers. He was on another show. Oh gosh, this was a show my wife was on. Oh man, I can't remember the other show, but he's been on countless other programs. I mean, he's a successful actor, television actor, movie actor. He's huge star. But I mean, Ted was, the smile was there, but the rhythm was like, I'm like, oh my god, Ted, you're killing me, man. Yeah. So yes, that was my story about a man with no rhythm, a white man with no rhythm, but hey, there's black people out there with no rhythm too. You know who you are, so don't even act like all black people have rhythm. No, I've seen it. I have seen it. Shoot, sometimes there'll be other cultures that have more rhythm than the quote unquote ones that should have all the rhythm, right? That's pretty interesting. Okay, let me go ahead and continue on what I left off on the last show. More about this feud between conservative talker and conservative activist Laura Loomer and Elon Musk. Now, obviously, he ain't got no time for that mess. I mean, Elon is busy being a almost a trillionaire. He does not have any time of the day to to even entertain this feud, right? So I played a little bit of the soundbite for you. Let me play it again, and then we'll talk on the other side. And I have an article from NBC News I want to read to you all. So give me a second. Let me go ahead and pull up that. Let me go ahead and pull up that soundbite, and then we'll talk on the other side.
he's a free speech absolutist. The platform's supposed to be about free speech absolutism. What is your current status, man? What has happened to you on that platform?
Well, if he's a free speech absolutist, why was my account suspended? Why was my verified premium account taken away from me? So if you subscribe to me, thank you for your support, but you will no longer be able to subscribe to me because Elon Musk has suspended your ability to support my work because he doesn't like what I said. I didn't incite violence against anybody. I am simply trying to warn the Trump administration about something that is going to blow up in their face. And it actually has the risk of potentially getting President Trump impeached in his second term if the Democrats take back the House and are successfully able to spin and create a narrative that big tech is trying to buy influence and that they are enriching themselves in the Trump administration. I'm trying to warn them about a...
All right, let me stop right there. Because I'm sorry, whenever you hear folks say, I'm trying to warn them. I'm trying to warn him. Like, all righty, we got another one of those. So that was Laura Loomer. That was the voice of Loomer. Speaking on the show. I'm not gonna really say well, Steve Bannon is a former White House political strategist. He was a man that was arrested for it was don't get me quoting on the exact law that he broke, but he had been pardoned or is potentially being pardoned by President Trump. Let me go ahead and actually pull it up real quick just before I move forward, because I always like to share exactly, okay, what was this? I'm big on details like that, so bear with me, y'all. The question is, what hasn't he been arrested on? That's really the big question. Says here, okay, in August of 2020, Bannon and 3 others were arrested on federal charges of conspiracy to commit mail fraud and money laundering in a connection with the We Build the Wall fundraising campaign. All right, so that's what he was arrested on. He was released. Let's see. He's so far out of prison currently. He still had his show running at the time when he was in jail, because it wasn't like a long serving time that he had to do, because I think he just surrendered like in 2022, something around that in that frame. But anyway, he has a program on. He brings on a lot of conspiracy theorists and far right extremists on his program. He's a interesting guy. And I don't mean that in a good way. But anyway, she was on his show, so there isn't other programs that will give her the opportunity to share her her mind. She's a very controversial figure as well. Now let me read you this article reported by NBC News. It says here, Elon Musk accused of censoring conservatives on X who disagreed with him about immigration. Now I'll read a little bit of it in context. It says here, he's facing accusations of censorship by a few of conservatives, but specifically, Laura Loomer is one of them. But to give you an exact number, at least 14 conservative accounts had been revoked from their blue verification badge, cutting them off from a variety of premium features, including the ability to monetize their accounts through subscriptions and advertising revenues. According to the review conduct by NBC News, the accounts were all still active recently, but without access to monetized features. Some of them said they worried about their ability to keep posting. Here's the thing. The conservatives feel like it's a kick in the face, because initially they're like, oh, Elon is our savior. He's with us. He's a big proponent for free speech. Now, look, there's a lot of folks out there, I myself included. I'm an advocate for free speech. But guess what? There is a difference between free speech and hate speech. But see, the folks that want to keep on spewing out the free speech, at least in this story that we're talking, they don't know the difference. They think it's all the same. They think that means, oh, I can say whatever I want, right? Who cares if I hurt people's feelings? Who cares if it? No. Hate speech, in my opinion, is and I'm pretty sure it is a law, but it really should be a specific law because there's still people that are very offensive on social media platforms. That's why, I mean, I love social media. I love Instagram. I love Facebook. I love all the social medias, but not everybody should consume social media. It's it can be difficult in some points. People utilize social media for for good. Some do it for bad. Some people get addicted to it, and then it gets too serious, and vice versa. Like it's a lot that goes on with social media. As I digress from that, let me continue on this article. It says here some conservatives said they consider X actions to be a betrayal by Musk, as I mentioned earlier, because he was someone that was very pro free speech at that point. When he, that was his main reason why he bought Twitter at the time, now called X, because he thought it was unfair for folks to be banned, like at the time, President Donald Trump. But again, I go back to, words matter. Hate speech is one thing. I mean, excuse me, freedom of speech is free speech is one thing, but hate speech is different. And if there are groups that are sending messages towards specific groups or individuals, boom, get them off. They don't need any access to the social media accounts, and that, in my opinion, is a lower Loomer. I think now Elon is starting to wake up when it comes to, okay, on the business standpoint, especially if you might have other folks that want to have ownership with Twitter, or if it's if it's a public entity and you have shareholders, stuff like that. They're like, come on, dude, come on. They gotta go. Like, there's one thing you got to know about me, y'all, is I am a middle individual. I'm gonna play it fair, and I'm gonna call it, balls and strikes here. There's extremists on both sides of the aisle. Not just, you hear me using, saying, conservatives, right? Right wing conservative. No, you have extremists on the right, and you have extremists on the left. Keyword extremists. When you take it to the extreme, it's like, okay, y'all need to ease up, calm down, because we all have liberal and conservative views at the same time. That's me 24/7. All right. Let me digress and continue, because I'm, I like to go on my, like, oh, Arrington's going off the rail again. Yeah, let me get back to the article. Says here that and this was posted by Musk, if far more credible verified subscriber accounts block your accounts compared to those who like your post, your reach will decline. And everything. Okay, we know that. Let's see here. It says here that the actions by X came in the middle of a heated online debate on the subject of future immigration policy under President-elect Donald Trump, with anti-immigration MAGA loyalists denouncing the influence of pro-immigration tech executives and investors such as Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. For those who are, forgot who Vivek Ramaswamy is, he was a former presidential candidate who ran in the last cycle. Went viral because he was more like the outspoken, kind of like a younger Trump, right? He was never a politician. He's just a young, wealthy man who just said whatever he wanted to, and that was that. He was the guy that always stirred the pot during the debates. Let's see here. A gentleman, a 23-year-old influencer, said he considered the actions by X a political takedown in retaliation for public publicity, disagreeing with Musk from. Okay, well, it's an ongoing thing. I'm not going to go in too much with it, but it's pretty intense, and it's just funny because now you're just watching the so-called team that President Trump put together, going back and forth with each other, just going back and forth with each other. At first, they were all, we're teams, we're all one, we're good, we're this, we're that, and it's like, I don't know, my friends. I don't know. Doesn't look like it'll be an easy process for you all if not everyone can get along at the same time. Let me go ahead and see if I can. I quote, by the way, it says here, and this is from Laura Loomer. She said Elon Musk is the biggest liability for Trump and the biggest national security threat. Miss Loomer, I just want to tell you, I don't think Trump is going to take your advice on this. I don't think he's going to listen to you. Because here's the thing. He goes where the money's at, baby. He is going where that money is at. And if you haven't seen majority of his cabinet picks, there's like 3 billionaires on there, maybe 4. And at the minimum, they worth about, I'm going to say 50 million at the minimum. So this whole this is not fair. This is not who, you promised that this and the other. Like, give me a break, lady. Give me a break. You were already, baggage for the president at the time when he was running for office because she was so on the extreme end where, the Trump campaign, the Trump team had said that they're trying to promote unity, bring people together, right? It's so funny because whenever supporters of Trump, people from his team or just current Republican officials or just supporters, current officials that are supporters of Trump, this is the most diverse I've ever seen, ever. I mean, he's brought in Robert F. Kennedy Jr., former Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard. First of all, I've said this before. Yes, Tulsi Gabbard was a former Democratic Congresswoman out of Hawaii. She was a former Democratic presidential candidate, but for a long stretch post political career, for a long stretch as a critic of the Democratic Party. Then she went on to be an independent, which, in my opinion, she's always been a Republican. She just knew, okay, this will be my ticket into politics if I run as this. That's my personal opinion, y'all. When I see party switches, I do think, people can change. Don't get me wrong. But I just think deep down, you've always been majority of that. There's just something, or it's the heat of the moment of that era. Because I do think, political affiliations, there, you have seasons, right? You have seasons where it's like, okay, the majority of the, what they're voting for and this and that and the other. Okay, that's what. Okay, now I get it. I get it. Where they're like, okay, now I'm going to lean a little more with those folks, but with her, it was never a shocker that she would become a Republican, because she is a Republican now. So I to me, don't use Robert F. Kennedy Jr. or Tulsi Gabbard as an example of see. I mean, even there was a former congressman. I don't know if y'all, a lot of y'all probably don't know, but for my Georgia listeners out there, Vernon Jones, congressman out of Georgia, Vernon Jones. He was the first at the time. He was the only Democrat that spoke at Donald Trump's. We were during the RNC when it was Trump and Biden during the pandemic year. He was the only Democrat. He was in it for the clickbait. He was in there for for the royalties and all the benefits and stuff like that. That man was a joke. I'm sorry. He was a joke. He turned out to be, I saw old clips when he was at the time a congressman as a Democrat. I'm talking during, Black men forums, right? Hosted by Tavis Smiley. I mean, it was a different tone from him. It was a different vibe. Then all of a sudden he's so extreme. And so I'm like, where did this come from? And he's obviously, he left the Democratic Party and he is now a Republican, a staunch Republican. He's proud of it. And hey, that's okay. Be who you want to be. I do not I'm not against, the whole you're a Democrat or you're a Republican. No, be who you want to be. But I'm just saying, be honest with it. Be honest, be fair, be honest, and hey, I love it when folks are passionate, especially during debate season when they're I have a lot of friends. We're all my friends. We don't agree on the same stuff. So, but we're passionate about our values, our beliefs. But at the end of the day, you agree or disagree. You don't call each other out their name and say, oh, they're just this and they're just that. I mean, oh my gosh, it's disgusting. Anyway, let me digress from that because I'm going off the rails. Let's go ahead and move it on to our next story, man. Going on into the sports world. So I mentioned earlier that a basketball coach, a former basketball coach out of Florida State, is being sued. Coach Leonard Leonard Hamilton. All right, Leonard Hamilton recently was brought with a lawsuit for unfulfilled NIL promises. So for those who are uh unaware of the what the initials NIL stands for, name, image, and likeness, right? NIL was a big thing uh in college. It was starting in college mainly to for fair pay, and not just fair pay, but just compensating the athletes of a university because they do a lot to being a college student. It's not easy being a college student. And so, NIL is a big thing where you got college players now becoming millionaires before they enter into the pros. Now, there's even, I think, a story I heard or an article where it's starting to creep down to the high school level. And I'm like, golly, I wish it was here when I was playing sports. I mean, that's what kills me, man. I'm like, I wish it was when I was playing sports. Well, let me read this for you. This is reported by CBS Sports. A lawsuit recently was filed alleges that Hamilton owes in an excess of $1 million to former FSU players. It says here that Florida State's men's basketball coach Leonard Hamilton is the subject of a lawsuit filed by 6 former players alleging he promised but failed to follow through a 250,000 NIL packages for the players last season. Now, the lawsuit obtained by CBS Sports was filed recently in Florida and claims they never received payments, despite several instances during the season in which they were assured by their coach that payments would be made. Um, Now, Yahoo Sports first reported the news. The players who fulfilled the suit are Darren Green Jr., Primo Spears, Jalen Warley, Cam Fletcher, Deontay Green, and Josh Nickelberry, representing the second, third, sixth, seventh, ninth, and 12th leading scorers on last season's team, respectfully. Of those 6 players, 2 transferred into FSU last season under the belief that the NIL packages would be part of their agreement to sign with the school. Now, here's my thing. This is new stuff for me because that I was unaware of NIL packages in the in um in universities. Like I always thought that um NIL was something that was brought like individuals. Let me see what I'm trying to explain because I'm fumbling over here. Initially I thought that okay, boom, you have an individual athlete from from basketball, from football, from any sport, and then boom, they either represent themselves or they have somebody that represents them, like an agent of some sort. I thought it was like okay, now if a small business or if a business in general approaches you and would like you to hey, can you help us promote this, can you be our endorser or ambassador, this and then the other. I just figured, okay, now they can get paid for it and not just be like, okay, we're just going to donate money to the university. No, we want to, you can get money in your pocket of doing that. That's what I thought. I never knew that there was such thing as NIL packages, or just NILs brought to the sports program or the university. I did not know that. Let me go ahead and actually pull up here. Mm, mm, mm. Let me see here. I'm trying to see what okay, it says here NIL packages are structured agreements or opportunities that universities facilitate or support for student athletes that include endorsement deals, merchandising, social media monetization, personal appearances, athlete specific opportunities, and university collective supports. How universities support. So it says here that the benefits of the NIL packages, okay, obviously, yeah, athletes can earn. Is it true? Okay, so yeah, so it looks like it gets sent to a huge pot to the sports program, and then they can also employ those athletes there. So that's kind of like just a basic job. Like they, you give money to the sports program, they can be like, hey, look, when it comes to recruiting, when it comes to transfers, look, come on down here, we even get you a little extra money on this, we'll sign you a deal. I mean, it's crazy how this whole NIL thing works, because it's just a straight business. Now college sports has always been a business, but now it's even more of a business, because you got the transfer portal in college football, really in all sports, which is basically a form of free agency like you see in the pros. I personally, I'm for it. I know a lot of folks who are diehard college sports fans are not a fan of it. Specifically those who were not college athletes, might have just been students or just working class folks that didn't even enlist in college. Some of them really don't see it as fair. Funny story, I actually had a conversation with a gentleman on New Year's Eve. Yeah, matter of fact, New Year's Eve, my wife and I, we called a happy hour at one of our favorite spots, and a gentleman was sitting at the bar. Nice guy, a regular there during their happy hours. And this was our first time ever, seeing him or talking with him. And we were just watching a college football game on TV. And yeah, we just got to talking. And what he brought up, I didn't fully disagree, but I know my wife was totally against, because my wife is a former collegiate athlete. She swam in college. My brother-in-law is a former collegiate athlete. My mother-in-law is a former collegiate athlete. My dad is a former collegiate athlete. So I get it on the collegiate athlete perspective. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I used to be one of the people that will say, wait a minute, you already get a scholarship. So isn't that a form of compensation? So why do you want extra funds? And I used to be that stubborn guy on a regular. Until I started to realize, you know what? And as a college student, all my friends were college athletes. I majored in health and wellness. I was in my classes were in the sports program. And so when I realized the vigorous schedule that those college athletes had to go through, 5 a.m., meeting, or 5 a.m. workouts, classes, practice, eat, classes, meetings, eat, another meeting, or another practice. They'll have weight training, and then they have conditioning exercise. They'll have 2 practices and maybe like a meeting or 2 meetings per day, and then boom, you got to travel to to compete against another university, and then you got to get back and still be in the books. Some of them had tutors, some of them didn't. It's a struggle. Now, obviously, depending on which school you're in, depending on which school you're in, you get a different type of privilege, and a different type of privilege. So if you're in a big time sports school, like I'm just as an example, University of Colorado, or just a big time D1 school, yes, you're gonna have some privilege that's like, oh, I can do this, I can get away with this and that. So it's different. It's different type of accommodations compared to a smaller, maybe a D2 school, and definitely even in a D3 school, right? There's actually no accommodations in a D3 school. But I was, the gentleman had said that I think that the university should get like half or some of that NIL money. So say if your college scholarship is, I'm gonna just say 350 grand for for the 4 years. Well, if you sign a deal for $1 million, well, your scholarship should come out of that NIL money. Take that out first, and then the rest can go to you. I could understand it, because it's like you're still getting money, and both sides are winning at this point, because it's not like, okay, the university is also giving you a scholarship plus you're getting more money than I kind of get it, because they're still representing the university. And so the university should, but then here's another thing. The university does get a lot of money when it's, say football or basketball season. They get a lot of that money. Oh, and even in general, let's be honest. Universities now, it's never always just academics that bring students to their universities. There's folks that just want to attend Alabama because, hey, I want to watch Alabama football. All right. Like, same goes for a UNC or a Clemson. Like, students go for specific reasons, whether the parties is bumping over there or the sports are bumping. They rarely go for, they might say, well, they got a great, a nursing program, or they got a great law program. They got great, like they might mention that, but the golden reason, the real reason is athletics, man. Come on. Sports is what garners so much revenue to that university. So in that case, I'm like, well, they're already winning. So I'm back and forth with it. Again, my wife was totally against that reason. I'm gonna have her on soon to share more about her take on the NILs, collegiate athletes in general, and even as a female athlete, because I want to get her perspective. I even bring on my mother-in-law, get her perspective on there, and we're gonna have that conversation. But let me go back to this story involving the head basketball coach over at Florida State. It says here, in documents filed legal proceedings, the 6 players realized near the end of the season that Hamilton was unlikely to fulfill his promises on the NIL payments and boycotted a practice before a home game against Duke recently. During their season. It says here they were also determined to boycott but I just left off somewhere. Also, they were determined to boycott the Duke game, which Florida State ended up losing to, but were convinced to play after Hamilton in a team meeting learned of their plans and reiterated that each player would be paid $250,000 and that the transaction would take place the following week. So again, a lot of amazing. Take my jacket off, getting a little toaster. It's freezing outside, y'all. By the way, it's freezing outside, but I still have my jacket on. If I can get the damn thing off, good gracious. All right. So in this case, it says here that they are requesting the court to rule Hamilton's actions caused them significant damages and to be awarded $250,000 each in compensatory damages based on the original promise amounts. The suit also requests plaintiffs be awarded punitive and exemplary damages to assist in deterring and preventing similar conduct in the future. Now, I'm not sure if he is still I don't think he's no longer coaching. I don't know if he's still coaching at Florida State. I think he's still there. Currently, I think he's still there. But I don't know how it's gonna look for his college future. But I think this is something that he might be looked upon as a villain from athletes, but not from other coaches, because I don't know if y'all heard, but University of Miami's coach Jim Larinaga abruptly stepped down. He's 75, abruptly stepped down from his role, citing frustration over the NIL landscape. You got guys like moving on to football. Nick Saban retired. He had a lot more years left, but he retired. And one of the reasons why they're saying is because possibly the whole NIL piece. They're not liking the system, the structure on how it's going. So, I mean, here's the thing. My frustration with coaches having an issue with it is like, look, you guys are millionaires once you sign on to become a coach of a big time D1 school. Bill Belichick, now probably a bad example, but I'm just saying in general. Bill Belichick's salary is around $11 million a year. Now his career is worth it because he is won the most Super Bowls as a head coach in the NFL. He's one of the most winningest coaches ever in the history, probably the winningest coach in the history of football. Dabo Sweeney over in Clemson, he's making, I believe, around 11, maybe almost 12 million a year. Kirby Smart out of Georgia, 13 million a year. All right. These coaches are making buku money. I'm sorry. Yes, you are successful for leading a squad to victory, but you have players who are risking their bodies. They also have to adjust, making sure they still get good grades in class. And some of them come from some of the most rundown cities in America. And this right here, this is a stepping stone. This is something that can help guide them to a career of success and wealth. And they're coming in as providers for their families before they even know what that really means. You know what I mean? So it's like the student athletes, they're making a huge, they're sacrificing so much, and they deserve that money, man. They deserve that money. There is so much money that comes out of college sports that are in the universities, that is, in the conferences. There's so much money. It's unreal. And coaches have an issue with players making this kind of money. Now, if it's the whole, you don't want to create big-headed, arrogant people that's not used to all that money, and then they start going, again, arrogant and big-headed like Antonio Brown. Yeah, I'm taking a shot at Antonio Brown because he's one of them. And think they can't be coached and all this stuff. So, well, guess what? Move on to the next guy. There's plenty of people that will love that opportunity for a career in college sports and even in the pros. So please do not tell me that you don't like it because they're going to start changing their tone and their personality, and now it's like, okay, we might as well be coaching the pros. Well, guess what? College football and college sports in general, that is the pros. That is the pros at this point. So I hope the guys get their money. I hope they get paid. Shame on this coach for not abiding by the promise, because he wants to help his career look good, but not look out for the players that really risk their bodies on the line to make you and the university look good. So I digress from that. Look, I'm going to take a quick commercial break, my friends. We're going to have some more here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Looks like we have about a little less than 10 minutes in the show. That's what happens when you have an hour. I wish I had more, but look, we're going to move it on. Let me go ahead and take a quick commercial break. I feel like I say quick, like a quick commercial break. No, we're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll have more here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Do not go anywhere. We'll be back with more here on the Arrington Gavin Show.
Order your beard care products with Rugged Evolution. We're your local beard care line that supports the maintenance of your full, mature beard. Our line includes conditioning shampoos, moisturizers, balms, oils, shaving lotions, and exfoliating soaps. These products moisturize, hydrate, nourish, and have all the natural ingredients for a healthy beard. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. And remember,
Rugged is the new smooth.
What is happening, my friends? Welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. I'm your host, Arrington Gavin. Again, be sure to follow me on Instagram at the Arrington Gavin Show, as well as on X at the Arrington Gavin Show, Blue Sky at the Arrington Gavin Show, and what am I missing? Oh, and also check me out on Substack. Same at the Arrington Gavin Show on Substack. But right now Instagram is really popping. We're over 10,000 followers, so we want to keep that momentum. Please continue to keep following us on Instagram at the Arrington Gavin Show. Please do me a huge favor and do that for me. I appreciate it, my friends. All right. Man, it's hard. It's hard trying to see which one I'm gonna talk. Let me go ahead and I'll talk a little more. I might not have all the time, but let me go ahead and bring this up because it's really caught my attention. So Donald Trump and the Republicans are playing the blame game, calling the incident, the sad incident that happened on New Year's Eve in New Orleans, Louisiana, and then also the incident that occurred in Las Vegas, calling it or blaming the border crisis on why, or the border issue is why these incidents happen. Let me go ahead and play you this soundbite real quick from the House Speaker Mike Johnson. Let me go ahead and find that piece for you, and then we'll talk on the other end. And I have a few sound bites actually I want to play, see if I can share that with you in this short time that we have.
One, and let me say something else that's obvious, and I don't know if enough attention is being paid to this, but we all know that for the last 4 years, the Biden administration has been completely derelict in its duty. The congressional Republicans, we here in the House and the Senate, have repeatedly asked the DHS under the Biden administration about the correlation, the obvious concern about terrorism and the wide open border.
And yet they're coming into this country free. They've been handled at the border. Now, Cheryl, if only 10% got through that we didn't know about, of 55,000, that's 5,500 special terrorists, potential terrorists that are in this country in Mayorkas and company. As you know, they said we've got operational control of the border. He's been saying that forever. They're not doing their job, and Americans are paying the price for that.
One, and let me say,
so that was the first gentleman that you heard speaking was House Speaker Mike Johnson, right? Laughable. And again, always playing the blame game. I'm truly sick of the whole back and forth thing. It's really just annoying as I don't know what. I'm trying to hold my tongue for 2025 because your boy got a lot of great opportunities coming with this show. So I'm over it. But to kind of catch you on the speed on some of the stuff. So New Year's Eve, you had two separate attacks that occurred in the United States involving individuals with military backgrounds. So the first one was Shamsud Din Bar Jabbar, I'm mispronouncing that name, I apologize. A 42-year-old U.S. Army veteran from Houston, Texas. He drove a rented Ford F-150 pickup truck into a crowd of folks on Bourbon Street during the New Year's Eve celebrations, resulting in 15 fatalities, all right, including himself, and injuring at least 35 others. Now, after crashing, he engaged in a shootout with police, injuring 2 officers before being fatally shot. Now, an ISIS flag was found in his truck, and he had posted videos online expressing allegiance to ISIS and in intentions to harm his family. So you can read more about that on People Magazine. The second one was a gentleman, Matthew Linsberger, a 37-year-old U.S. Army Master Sergeant from Colorado Springs, Colorado. He drove a rented Tesla Cybertruck, which exploded outside the Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas, resulting in the death and injuring 7 others. Prior to the explosion, he sustained a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. Wow. And he was described by his uncle as a Rambo-type patriot who strongly supported Donald Trump. You can check that out on the New York Post. So my frustration is, y'all, well, actually, let me go ahead and I'll share my frustration, see if I have some time to share the other soundbite. But this isn't a blame game thing, y'all. This isn't. All right. So I'm gonna read you this article from The Hill. It says here that he blames the situation at the southern border for the recent attacks in New Orleans and Las Vegas, railing against President Biden for his immigration policies as both cases are being investigated. Here's the thing. Both of these people were American-born citizens, all right? It had nothing to do with border issues. Just like, please, just stop with this whole back. Look, I understand we have a border issue. We do. But the whole thing is, why do you have to immediately start blaming opposing sides on an issue? Why can't you just say, you know what? It's still being investigated, for one. Two, how about you just, talk about, well, look, we want to make sure the families are okay. We have to talk about the fact that 15 innocent lives were lost, unexpected, on a time where you're supposed to, be fellowship and having a great time with friends and family. How about we talk about that? How about we talk about, oh yeah, I'm so grateful that the folks that was near that exploding vehicle were not seriously, no fatalities happened. People were hurt, but I'm glad they're okay. Like, let's talk about that. Why do you have to immediately say, well, the issue really is that if the other side didn't have that board, we would not have this. Once again, their fearless leader in that side of the aisle continues to spew out division. Now, I'm talking about the leader, those in leadership. I'm not saying all, but those in leadership on the Republican Party, they're spewing out division, especially, President Trump. I that's what bugs me. I try to give the man the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, look, you won fair and square. You are a president. You have to respect the position. Please, go on from there. But I just can't stand people that wants to continue to spew out division. I hate that. I truly hate that, y'all. I don't know about you. I want everybody to just love one another and have a great time and go back to how it used to be on just, coming together as one. And, just, you can't even have a conversation when it's regards to politics without something, somebody popping off the rails as far as arguing and fighting and, not talking with each other. I mean, it's disgusting, man. It really is disgusting. My friends, look, that is my time. It goes by so fast. I'll continue on the stories on the next episode of the Arrington Gavin Show. Thank you so much for taking the time out your schedule again to tune into the program. Be sure to tune into our show Monday through Fridays at 11 p.m. on WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk, as well as on every podcast platform you can imagine, and on YouTube and Rumble, all right, at the Arrington Gavin Show. So all digital and streaming platforms, you can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show. See you next time, my friends. I'm out.